Hi guys, welcome back to my channel and welcome to my October TBR. I feel like October is always a highly anticipated and long-awaited month just in general, but especially for readers. I know so many people just love fall books and fall reading, myself included. I would say at heart though, I am such a summer girl, so it's always a little hard for me to say goodbye, but I have so many great fall-coated books on my TBR cart that don't make it too hard to embrace this new season. I even tried to go for a bit of a witchy vibe today with my look, so fully embracing the month of October and excited to plan out my month of reading with you guys. As always, the TBR jar is going to be helping me select my reads today, so I'm planning to pull my usual 6 prompts and then pick 6 books from the cart that correspond to each one. So with that, let's jump right in. Okay, prompt number 1. Is a book set in a city. I've kind of dedicated my top shelf to all my fall reads and books that are like top priority, so that's where I'm mostly going to be picking from today. And already I'm seeing so many good options. I think You Again by Kate Goldbeck is set in New York City. The back refers to one of the characters as a New Yorker, but that doesn't necessarily mean New York City. Okay, page 1 is the Brooklyn Museum, so this is a great option. The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James is definitely high on my radar for fall. It is a thriller that sounds so spooky to me, but I don't know where it's set. Ooh, this one also takes place in New York City. Did not know that, but that is perfect. Everything else I see, I feel is like small town vibes. I'm gonna flip the card around. Ace of Spades. I think I remember looking up the setting for this one for a similar prompt I pulled last month, and I believe the setting is supposed to be kind of like an unknown fictional setting so that it could really take place anywhere, so I don't think this will work for that prompt. I think I'm going to honestly just cut off my search there because I'm so happy with both of these 2 picks. They both take place in New York City, which is perfect for the prompt. And honestly, I hope both of these end up on my October TBR. It's just a matter of what will work for different prompts. So I'm going to kind of keep that in the back of my mind as I'm trying to decide. And although both of these books are set in New York City, they both give very different vibes. I mean, obviously one is a romance, one is a thriller. This one has a past and present timeline following 2 women who are related and work for the same motel. And then this is an enemies to lovers type romance that's supposed to be similar to When Harry Met Sally. There's really not one of these books that I want to read over the other. I do want to read both of them next month, but just trying to think about potential prompts that these books could work for. I don't know, I feel like You Again is just a little more niche for some reason. I feel like the Sundown Motel could potentially work for another prompt, so maybe for the sake of being able to get this book with another prompt, I'm going to put this one back for now. So I'm going to make You Again the first book on my October TBR. The cover screams fall. I bought this actually last year at the end of the fall season, and I kind of feel like I missed my window of opportunity to read it, so I knew it needed to be top priority this year. And I'm going in a bit blind as far as understanding what the specifics of the plot is, but I'm kind of excited to just go in not knowing anything other than I think it's enemies to lovers, and just from reading the back, I believe a friends with benefits situation somehow comes from their dynamic, but excited to figure out more about this book when I do read it, and I'm hoping that I enjoy it. Okay, prompt number 2 is next book in a series. I don't think that really gives us many options as far as my top shelf of books go. We do have Redeeming 6, which is book 4 in the Boys of Tommen series. I feel like you guys are probably so sick of seeing me potentially pick this one / actually put this one on so many TBRs and not get to it, but I feel like I put it off this summer because this is a pretty heavy book and I didn't feel would make for a good, fluffy, light summertime read like I like to read during the summertime. But fall could be a good opportunity to revisit this series. I really think this might be my only option because everything else on the cart seems to either be a standalone or the start to a series. I'm in the middle of a lot of series, but I guess I don't have the physical copy of a lot of the next books that I need to read. So I feel like October could be a good time to revisit this one. Honestly, no guarantees that I will complete it, but I do really want to get back into the Boys of Tommen series. This is part 2 of Joey and Eva's story, who were characters we met in book 3, and it is a lot of heavy things, so I feel like that's another reason I've kind of been putting it off, because you really have to prepare yourself to go into these books. But I do thoroughly enjoy them, and they're definitely very deep books, so I connect to the characters a lot, and I'm hoping that I love this one. I'm excited to get back into it. Again, no guarantees because I am going to be prioritizing more fall reads, but this one fits the prompt and I could see myself getting back into this series next month. Okay, prompt number 3. I'm going to try to grab this one from the bottom. A book you bought on a whim. Honestly, a lot of books I buy on a whim because it really does not take much convincing for me to want to read something. I feel like of the books I'm just looking at right here, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches, I did kind of buy on a whim. I definitely have heard people say good things about this book, but I remember there was like a Halloween witchy kind of display at Barnes last year, and I just recognized the title of this one from hearing good reviews and picked it out of the bunch and thought I should add it to my fall TBR. I do love a good witchy read, and again, I've heard wonderful things about this book. I've heard the found family is really good in it, so this could be a good option for more of like a cozy, wholesome story next month. I think I'm going to stick with this book for my choice because just looking at every other book on the cart, I really don't see anything else that I would want to read that I bought without prior planning or bought without hearing too many reviews, and that's kind of what I did with this one. I just heard people say that they liked it and that it was good, but other than that, I didn't know too much about it. It just kind of caught my eye and I recognized the title when I went book shopping last year. I think this one is set in the UK too, and our main character is a witch, but she kind of hides her powers because she's never met anyone like herself. And then I think she finds a group of witches who make her feel like she's not alone, and I think that's probably going to be where the found family aspect comes into this book. And I think this one also has a tiny subplot of romance, if I'm not mistaken, so I feel like October obviously is the perfect time to read this book with all the witchy vibes, and I'm excited for something cute and wholesome next month. Okay, prompt number 4. Is a book that is part of a series. So this prompt is pretty similar to the one from earlier, but I think it's going to give me a little more freedom since I can pick the first in a series, because technically that would count as being part of a series, even if I've not started the series yet. Right off, I'm seeing The Inheritance Games and Out on a Limb is the start to an interconnected standalone series. Both of these books I want to read in the month of October. Out on a Limb, I feel like isn't going to give the most fall vibes ever, but the reason I was thinking I wanted to try it in October is because it's an accidental pregnancy trope, and the one night stand that kind of causes this happens at a Halloween party, so I feel like the start of the book is going to have some vibes that fit this season. And I feel like it's kind of harder to find romances that fit this time of year. But The Inheritance Games is the start to a trilogy, and I've always wanted to read it in the month of October or in the fall time. I feel like it's perfect for this time of year because it's like a mystery series and there's lots of riddles and puzzles and clues to figure out and games. And it just sounds like a fun time. So I feel like I am leaning towards The Inheritance Games a little more than Out on a Limb. I definitely have more options on the cart of books that start a series, but I think I'm going to go with The Inheritance Games because ideally I would like to read the whole trilogy this fall. I've heard this book is basically like an escape room in book format, which really intrigues me, and I know we follow our main character who is written into this man's will, and when she goes to the reading of the will, she has no idea why she's in the will. She doesn't know the family, they don't know her, so they're all trying to figure out this big mystery, and I've heard there's like a love triangle too, so it sounds like this book is just gonna have everything to keep me hooked and entertained, and I'm really excited to finally read it in October. Okay, prompt number 5. I feel like this is going by so fast because I've kind of known exactly what I want to read, which is always good. A book title that starts with the. Okay, I was hoping we would find a prompt that fits a book that we kind of left earlier. The Sundown Motel perfectly fits this prompt. Definitely plenty of other options on the cart, but I think while I have the chance to make this book work for one of the prompts, and we only have one prompt left to pull, I'm going to take that chance to add this to October's TBR. This one just sounds so thrilling to me, and shockingly, we don't yet have a thriller on the TBR for the month, so definitely need to add one while I have the chance. This one, like I mentioned earlier, it's set in New York City. We get 2 timelines, one in the 80s and then one in present day. In the present, we follow a girl who's working at this motel, and then in the 80s, her aunt actually also worked at the same hotel, and I think there was something mysterious that happened with the aunt involving this hotel, but it sounds really eerie and creepy. I think there's a paranormal element to this book, so I cannot wait to read it. I've never read anything from Simone St. James, but I've heard good things about her books, especially this one. Okay, final prompt. A book with a person on the cover. I think I'm going to make it easy and just grab the remaining 3 books that I was wanting to pick from for this prompt, and I'm pretty sure, yeah, all 3 of these options have people in some way or another on the cover, and I feel like all 3 of these books would be good for fall. The Picture of Dorian Gray I've heard kind of gives dark academia. It is a classic, which does intimidate me a little bit, but I've read from Oscar Wilde before, and he uses a lot of humor in his writing, so I feel like I connect with it and it makes it less difficult to comprehend for me personally. Tender as the Flesh is a translated horror novel, and it's pretty short. It's just over 200 pages, so this would be a quick one to binge next month. And I've heard a lot about this book, so I am very intrigued. It sounds like it's good vibes for October because of the horror element, and it's just kind of a scary premise. And then Out on a Limb, I feel like I've always just had in my head that I wanted to start this in October because, like I said earlier, I've heard the book starts at a Halloween party. But then one of you guys also commented on a recent video and said, while it is good vibes for the fall, it does take place over the course of her whole pregnancy, so it spans many months, not just in the fall time, which doesn't necessarily mean that I can't read it in October or don't want to, but it does make me think that the other 2 options might be better for this time of year. Ooh, I don't know though. The very first page is giving Halloween vibes. They're talking about the Monster Mash. They're talking about how this house is decorated for a Halloween party. But if these vibes are only for the first chapter, I don't know. I'm kind of torn because this does sound good right now, but the other 2 feel very vibey for this time of year. And of course, just because they aren't officially on the TBR doesn't mean I still won't pick them up. I will say I kind of have a reading vlog planned in the back of my mind, including this book, that I definitely could push to November. And November would still be fall, and dark academia would be very appropriate for the month of November. So maybe we can put a pin in this one. And then Tender as the Flesh, again, since it's so short, I feel like if I don't officially put it on my TBR, the fact that I probably will get through this one quickly could motivate me to pick it up even if I don't add it to my October TBR. So I might put a pin in this one too. So I think I'm going to make Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young the last book I'm officially adding to my October TBR. I definitely think I could read it any time of year, but in my head, because I knew it started at a Halloween party, I've been saving it for October, so I kind of want to stick to that. And I've just heard such good things about this book. I really don't know too many of the specifics, but I'm excited to just kind of go in and see what I think. Like I mentioned, the trope is accidental pregnancy, which isn't usually my fave, but I've heard that it's done really well, and there are so many people who love this book and have given it 5 stars, so hopefully it'll work out just as well for me too. So the 6 books on my October TBR are Out on a Limb by Hannah Bonham Young, The Sundown Motel by Simone St. James, The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, The Very Secret Society of Irregular Witches by Sandhu Mandana, Redeeming Six by Chloe Walsh, and You Again by Kate Goldbeck. So that is going to conclude my October TBR. We pretty much cleared out the top shelf of the TBR cart, which were all the fall books I was hoping to pick from. So definitely a success, I would say. I'm really excited to read all of these books next month. As always, let me know in the comments down below if you've read any of the books on my TBR and what your thoughts are on them. Let me know what's on your TBR for the month, and if you did enjoy watching, be sure to give this video a thumbs up. Make sure you're subscribed if you're not already. I would love for you guys to stick around, and I will see you all very soon in my next video. Bye guys.